Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? This is James Adeleke, Chief Executive of Generation Success. I'm delighted to be inviting you guys back for another one of our Thursday live sessions. Um, ooh, it's going to be a magical event because we've got one of my favorite people in the house ready to kind of talk to you about. I'm going to leave that as a surprise. I'm going to leave that as a surprise for you. But in the meantime, guys, please like, please comment, please share. Because I want I want to make sure that you guys are listening and that you guys can get as much value from today's session as possible. If you don't know about these 30 live sessions, these are a way for us to share the journey of kind of running a fast growth international organization, but also bring in some of our experts to share some golden nuggets to help you succeed in industry. And because we're doing that, I am going to just take you into our GS world because you're all part of our family here. So welcome. One day this will be my office or our office at GS. It's actually a version of our careers platform, which we had earlier in the year. In 2022, we're going to be doing a massive conference for you guys. Ooh, so good. Let's just show you again twice. Anyway, like I said, today is all about the thinking tools, and I've got a very special thinking tools. Make you aware, enable you to identify all the top tips of success and create your own interventions. And I am so excited, guys, so excited to introduce a longtime friend. Her name is Tor. She's a career and mental mindset coach, a lawyer, a founder of Tor's Law. She's a person who is kind of making waves in the industry, is opening doors. Oh, Tor, before you say anything, I'm going to bring them to my friend. Come on. How are you feeling?
Great.
How are you today?
That was great. Oh, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm all good. I heard that no one could hear my music earlier, so it's all good. It's all good. We're just playing with the flow.
We heard that second one, and that was good. That got us in the mood.
Fantastic. So, today we're going to talk about career, mindset, and mental health. But before we do that, do you want to tell people about yourself?
Yeah. So just thank you, first of all, for inviting me on the show. It's just so great to be here. First of all, just because we connect and we're so passionate. Like you said, we've known each other for such a long time, and we're just so passionate about everything to do with diversity, inclusion, equality, mental health, happiness at work, and just much more. And for those of you that don't know me already, my name is Tor, and like James said, I am a lawyer. I work in commercial disputes. I'm also a certified coach and the founder of Tor's Law, which, as James has already said as well, it is a career and mindset coaching service helping lawyers and all to live life happy and be better than yesterday. And that's exactly what Tor's Law is as a definition. Just live your life happy and be better than you were the day before. And I offer everyone and anyone tools, tips, techniques, and you can get involved and benefit from the coaching on offer. It really doesn't matter where you're at in your career, what stage, what industry, lawyer or not. Please do reach out, get involved, connect, because even like I say to a lot of people that may not be able to afford the coaching that's on offer, your educational institution or the place you work, that organisation may be able to subsidise or fund the coaching for you. So, it is welcome and inclusive to everyone, and I just love meeting people and helping them along the way. So that was a bit of a long-winded intro, but there we go. Talk for Tor's Law.
It was fantastic. I could tell this is not the first time you've done that. And one of the things I'd love to ask is, what pushed you into helping junior and senior lawyers? Even though I know that what you do is it's not really, it can be used for people in different sectors, but yeah, tell us more.
Yeah, so I've been in the legal profession for, well over a decade, and I have worked alongside and against some really unhappy lawyers. And that sort of, spurred me on really to just make a difference and make a change. Because as much as I've always been a mentor throughout my career, I've been mentored myself, and mentoring is so great and it really does help. I just thought, do you know what? I want to do more, and I want to do more to help in a different way. And I decided to, go off, train, become a coach, come back, and then launch Tours Law, because lawyers, especially whether you are well established in your career and you're a senior lawyer, mid-level, junior lawyer, or even a student, someone who's not already broken into the profession, you are probably likely to need some help along the way. And that level of help is going to vary. But because I've worked with people, and I myself have suffered, from burnout and, dealing with challenging situations and difficult clients and people and managers and all that comes with it, it's hard. It's not easy. And I don't say to people, this is an easy industry to get into. But I tell you what, it is so rewarding. It's such a great job to have. And it's about navigating through it. Life is tough sometimes, but if we've got that support and the connections around us to get through it, then we can definitely get through it with more ease than we would have done if we hadn't reached out. So yeah, I decided to go into it because I just love helping people. And I guess that is the reason why, I decided to become a lawyer and a coach.
Yeah, you know what I love about your combined skill sets is the fact that actually, some of the complaints that people have about coaches, even though coaching skill is fantastic, but sometimes they also want a coach that has a understanding of what they actually do on a day-to-day basis. They have understanding of the sector, so that's it. So I guess that makes it so much more beneficial for the people that you work with within the legal profession.
Definitely. I feel like people say it to me all the time, like, you're so relatable because you have come up through the ranks and you have been there, you've done it, you've seen it, you've bought the t-shirt and you've come through the other end. And that's what I sort of try to say to people. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm happy to give you my insight and my experience to help you make the best decisions you can to get to where you want to be.
Definitely, definitely. And this goes to my next question is that sometimes it's easier said than done when talk about having the right mindset. But how can you really say that you have the right mindset in facing barriers or anything that life throws at you? But how can you really do it? Exactly.
How can you, well, that's the magic question, really.
Woo!
How? And
Yeah.
that how is different for everyone, because I've got clients that come to me and they say, oh, my ultimate goal is to get this job and earn this amount of money and then get this car or whatever it is. And I'm like, hold on a minute, let's take a few steps back, let's break it down. Like, what actually is the ultimate goal for you? Is it the job? Is it the money? Or is that just sort of the path along the way to get you to where you want to be? And by the end of it, so many of them actually come back to me and say, no, the ultimate goal really is happiness and success. And just think about it, that means something different to every single one of us. And if you just take a moment, even close your eyes for a couple of seconds and think, well, what does happiness and success mean to me? And it is different for everyone, like I say, and it's gonna lead you down different routes, different paths. But when you know that and you've got a clearer idea of what it is that you want, what inspires you, what motivates you, you've got a better chance of getting there.
I love that. You know what's really interesting though? When we ask people what does happiness and success mean for you, often people don't really talk about the emotional aspect. They're like, have a car, be financially stable. Like,
Yeah.
but they forget that you can have all those amazing things in your life and still not be happy and feel successful and feel like fulfilled. Oh,
Exactly. I've got so many clients that want that, a lot of it is, I need that next qualification and then
yes.
I'll be happy. Or once I get that job, then I'll be happy. But no, no, no. If you're chasing your whole life,
Mm,
you're never going to get there, are you? It's that constant, and then yeah, you're just not fulfilled. But I bet every single person listening has got something to be grateful for and something
mm.
to work towards, because we can all be better than we were the day before, and that is what I push out there, because that is what matters.
I love this. I love this. And this is why I love coaching. I love kind of helping shape people's mindsets around, understanding what's the true values, what are the things that really guides them in terms of ambitions, their drive, and all that type of stuff. Because then they can really, like you said, be grateful, be fulfilled at every stage of the journey, not just at that elusive final place.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. This is amazing. And then does having the right mindset really equate to having a good / healthy mental health?
Well,
These are tough questions.
so I wish you'd have given me these questions before, but no, it's all linked. It is all linked. And you know what? Mental health is so complex, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I am some medical health expert that can give you advice, because that's not what I am. That's not what I do. But I am a mindset coach. And I think if you've got the right mindset and you're, the way you're thinking at work and when it comes to your success is in a good place, you've definitely got more chance of getting there. And I say to everyone and anyone, you need to prioritize your way of thinking at work at every stage of your career. It's not just at the beginning, it's not just in the middle when you want to change jobs, and it's not at the end when you're like, oh, I'm a bit bored and done this for 20 years. No. Like every stage, you need to prioritize the way you think at work. And as you go through your journey, things will change. You will change. The way you think will change. But the main point is mental health. It matters. It really matters. And it's so great that we are talking more about this. And I keep saying to people, we need to talk more, because these conversations, and actually having the conversations, especially at your workplace, which may not be normal for a lot of people, but opening up that dialogue really can avoid, having time off work and stress and anxiety and everything else that comes with it. And it is as simple as having a chat.
I love this. Like, I love also that you talked about kind of prioritizing our way of thinking at every stage of the journey, because when we do training with employees around social mobility recruitment and how to be a more social mobility friendly employer, we talk about providing certainty at each stage of the journey, so that people from under-supported backgrounds don't feel on the back foot. Because when people are on the back foot, that's what creates anxiety. It creates kind of fear. They live by fear, all that type of stuff. And I talked about Harvard study, and I'll bring it back. And Harvard, I always talk about Harvard study. They did a study on success, and they found that 20% of success is about IQ, and then 80% of success is about kind of mindset, drive, resilience, support systems, all other stuff. And what I love about when people get to work with you, is the fact that through coaching, through being able to speak to you about what they're going through and being able to work through their challenges, they're able to create their own certainty when other people, where their employers, where university haven't created that certainty. Because talk to us more about that. Sorry, I was on a tangent.
No, you're so right. When you're saying it is 80% mindset, it really is. Because if that's not there, then how are you getting up in the morning? Like, what are you jumping out of bed for? And it is about creating certainty. And I always say it starts with you, because as much as everyone says, oh, it's everyone's responsibility, and technically, yeah, it is, it does start with you. What do you want? Where do you want to get to? And how are you going to get there? And you might be sitting next to someone who is in the same position as you, has the same goals and dreams, but how you get there, like you said earlier, the magic question, how, is going to be different for everyone. And for me, working with a coach, because I've employed coaches for myself for absolutely everything, business, coaching, mindset, the lot. And I just think working with a coach to tailor your coaching and your support to get you to where you want to be, it can be life-changing. It can be positively life-changing. And I say it because I've done it and I've been there and I've been through it, and I love doing it for other people. And I'm just so passionate about it. It is all about the mindset. If you've got a dream, you can do it if you believe.
Totally agree. I totally agree with you. And one of my favorite sayings is, one, you don't know what you don't know. But then also, why are you gonna learn it? by yourself? Why are you gonna like make mistakes that someone could have helped guide you through it? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Let
all
everyone else
about,
make the mistake, you know? Learn from their mistakes. Don't make the mistakes yourself.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then also, there was a funny thing that you spoke about, which is like, why are you getting up every morning? And I'll put some context behind this because we have a flatmate, he was unemployed for a quite a long time,
Mm.
no, like over a year, and kind of, there was no, like, he was like, I'm looking for a job and all that type of stuff.
Mhm.
Then one day we had a talk with him and say, look, we can't kind of keep you here because we have to, the mortgage has to be paid.
Yeah.
And within a day, he found a job, and he hasn't been unemployed
How
since.
funny.
And then before that, there was complaints. Oh, I can't find a job. All this is against me.
Yeah.
Yes. And nothing changed. You're still the same person. You're still sending out the same CVs. Nothing in the outside changed. It was just the mindset of having to make it happen.
Yeah. And sometimes that pressure, it's not always bad. People, don't really react to pressure in such a great way. But actually, a little bit of pressure is good because it helps you push forward.
Oh
It
yeah,
gives you that motivation.
agreed. And I'm going to really touch on that as well because the other thing that really, in different contexts, in our context, like often we have students talking about, I can't get a job. I can't, like nothing's happened. I've tried everything. Or you hear people in the industry, like, I haven't got a promotion in years. I tried everything. And, someone said to me, the reason why you're in your situation is because you have a safety net. Like, if when I was GS at the start, when there was no money, I was like, it's like the reason why you're broke is because you got safety net. Like,
Yeah.
if you had to eat and feed your family and do that type of stuff, you'll find a way to get that money. You find a way to make that sale.
You always do. You always do. And it's so interesting because it goes to the point of, it doesn't matter what our background is. And some of us, like myself, come from a really poor background where, you didn't have the connections to help you get started in your dream career or your dream industry, and that is what makes you fight. And we're not all in the same situation, but actually having something, whether it be that bit of pressure or the circumstances you're in and you're faced with to push you forward and get you to where you want to be, it does help. It does. It helps you to fight forwards, no doubt.
Yes. And what do you say to your clients who come with you with that attitude, like, so I've done all I can?
Yeah, no, do you know what I say? No one's ever done all they can. Come on, come on. I go, stop it now. Stop talking rubbish to me and let's start from the very beginning. And I literally get them to say what they want because it is all about what you want. And it's so funny that so many clients, when they come to my first session and I ask them, what do you want? They don't know. And it sounds like such a simple question. What do you want? And they go, what do you mean? In what context? I go, answer it however you want. What do you want? It's quite nice to just sit there and give yourself a little bit of time sometimes and just think about the simple things. But when clients come to me and they say, I've tried it all, I've been there, I've done it, I'm not getting anywhere, a bit like what you said, you are in a comfort zone and it is comfortable to stay there. But if you don't push yourself outside that comfort zone, how the hell are you going to grow? How the hell are you going to get what you want? Because it's obviously different to where you are now, what you want. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a goal. It wouldn't be a dream. So you have to make yourself feel a bit uncomfortable. And it hurts and it ain't easy. If you're not a very confident person, having to network and stuff like that, oh my God, I hated networking at the start. I was just like, dreading it. You walk in the room and you just think, oh my God, all these people want something from me, but equally I want something from them too, and you're working around the room and you're just like, Jesus Christ, this is so uncomfortable. But actually, if you think about it in a different way and you think, well, why am I here? What would I like from the end of this? Let's set myself a mini goal for the end of this networking session, even if it is just to connect with one person that I'll, follow up with and maybe go for a cup of coffee with. Really simple. And you may not ever speak to each other again and you may not be able to help each other out. Well, it's boosted your confidence because it's pushed you a little bit further forwards in something that you've not really been comfortable doing before. So it's just these little things, you know, that make a real difference. And next time it will be easier and easier and easier to the point where we can't shut you up. A bit like me.
But you know what? I want to pull us back because although you say it's a little thing, like it's a massive thing at the same time. Because guys, what you don't understand is what Paul did there is what she did when that client said, "Look, I've done all I can," is she didn't focus on that person's feeling and emotions or thoughts in that process because she could have said, "Oh, tell me, what have you done?" And that person will get, "I've done this, I've done that," and they'll get more anxious and they'll get more in that zone and clouded bubble of, "I've done all I can. I've done literally everything." But what she did there was say, "Tell me about what you want." So in that moment, she shifted their position and their mindset out of the negativity into something, like future based, something that takes them out of that situation. And in doing that, that helps that person, their mood, their mindset, all that type of stuff. Although it's small, it's massive because that impacts not just how they feel, but the action that person takes. Ah, like, powerful.
Right.
Okay.
And this is what coaching's all about, it is that forward thinking. And I know we're talking about mental health and stuff, but a quick sort of insight, a lot of people don't really know what the difference is between counselling and coaching. So the way I put it, the way I sort of remember it is put quite simply is counselling really focuses on the past to help you deal with the present in more emotionally healthy ways. Whereas coaching is future focused. If you're ready to move forwards, then that's probably when you're ready to hire a coach.
Powerful. We've been dropping some bangers here. But it's true. It's true. And but also, there's an important part that you said in that coaching bit, which was when you're ready to move forward, that's when you're ready for coaching. And every person that you work with has to be ready to move forward.
They do.
Yeah.
And I've worked with people who are not ready, and I say, come back to me when you are, because I quite quickly, realize actually you're in a place, along your journey where I have to refer you to counselling instead, and you're not quite ready for coaching just yet. And that is, what I'm taught to do as well. If I have to refer on to someone else, that's what I do.
Well, I was going to say, I wish we were recording it, but we are recording it. So this is going to be great training tips for our mentors as well. Because it also reminds me of that. And I reminds me of the story, which is a cowboy is on horseback, stopped at this town and sees an old man on his chair and his dog. And dog is kind of lying down on a nail. And the cowboy is like to the old man, "Aren't you going to move the dog? Like, this is inhumane." And the old man goes, "He's not comfortable, it's not hurting him. It's not uncomfortable for him." Basically what it says is, even if I move that dog off that nail, he would just go back there. If he was uncomfortable and he was ready, he'd move himself. And that's exactly what happens with clients and people that we all work with in the space.
It really is. That's a really good way to put it, actually. I like that. I'm going to use that one.
I love it. I love it. We're both stealing from each other because I'll be using some of your stuff.
That's what friends are for.
Exactly. And the other powerful thing because talk about that mindset shift is the beauty, like, even though you just said it is massive because there's one, you can even do that with a coach, but also what Tor's giving you guys here is life skills, because actually you can do that with yourself. Like you said, if you're going to a networking event and you're like,
yeah, and we've all been there.
Oh my days, and then what you're saying to yourself is change the way you think about it, play a game and break it down to small steps, because it doesn't always have to be that big mountain. Wow.
Exactly.
You dropping some bangers here. And any more tips you'd give for people as well around this subject?
You know what? There's just so many. Right here, I've got a little list. I did actually make a little list. I just think when it comes to your career, your mindset, your mental health, don't be afraid to smile. And that sounds pretty simple in itself, but actually smiling when you don't feel that great, it makes a difference. Smiling at someone you don't know or someone new in your company, like whatever, just crack a smile and see what happens. I also say to people, laugh. Don't be afraid to laugh at work and bring your personality to the workplace, because that brings creative ideas. You know, if you're not afraid to be who you are and yourself at work, which is where we spend the majority of our time, let's be honest, then how are you ever going to have fun and enjoy what you do? And we want to enjoy what we do, even if it's a stepping stone job or a temporary job, whatever. We want to have fun. We want to connect with the people that we work with in good ways, and, you know, have those long lasting relationships, because it's meaningful. And when you connect, you know, meaning and purpose to what you do, it just makes you happy. And it does. It works. I've got a few other things to say. Which I know we sort of said, you know, I know we sort of said do things that scare you. And I think that is really important to learn and to grow. I also think building a highlights reel is a useful one. So some people say to me, oh, you know, I just don't feel good about myself, or, you know, and I say, well, what have you done? What are your achievements? And sometimes really as simple as looking back at your CV, which you've already drafted, and going through it really slowly and going, oh my God, like I actually did that. I've actually done that. I've actually got skills here, there, and everywhere that could be transferable to whatever I want to do next. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people that I send home after the session or one of the sessions and just say, just have a look at your CV, go through it, and come back to me, and we're going to talk about how great you are at the start of the next session. And I want you to talk about yourself and how great you are. And, you know, most people are quite modest. They don't want to do it. They feel totally uncomfortable. But once they get, you know, once they're in a flow, it's quite easy. And you'd be quite surprised. So there's that. Another thing I like to say is make your decisions from a place of hope and not fear. Because if you're doing that, I mean, if you're doing that, it's just going to be so much better for you, because fear is a difficult one. We're never going to completely eliminate it in most cases, but we can reduce the size of it. And if you are making those decisions with a hopeful heart and not a fearful one, then you're probably going to get further to wherever that may be, whatever you want to be. And I also say reaching out, getting support if you need to squash those negative limiting beliefs, because there is support out there, and we are here to help you if you need it. It's quite funny because things that sort of make you feel good and great, you know, can really range, and what motivates me may not motivate you, but a lot of the time they are similar and they are the same, from, you know, funny pet videos to memes to reels. And one of my friends, actually, because it's not all about just mental health, but it's about physical health as well, and one of my really good lawyer friends is currently in hospital with corona, and she's in ICU, and she sent me a message this morning, and it was a link to a reel from a motivational speaker. And I said, do you know what, I'm doing a talk today and I'm going to read this out because it's going to help someone. So I'm just going to read it out to you now. And it says this is from, I don't know if you've heard of Omar Mokhtar, the motivational speaker, but he is amazing. So YouTube him and listen to some of what he has to say. But this reel that was sent to me this morning, I just loved it. So here goes. He said, I've never met anybody who became successful in any area of their life until they suffered and sweated and sacrificed and kept their focus and fought through fears and trials and tests. And if you have a dream and you commit to it, it will come true. And I just love that. I love that so much. And it touched me and it motivated me. And I thought, yep. And I messaged her and I said, I'm going to use that in the talk today because it is powerful. And just to add to that, you know, I just want to say, if, you know, just because you're struggling, it doesn't mean you're losing. You know, just because things ain't going to plan, it doesn't mean that it's gone wrong. And you just have to keep fighting wherever you are, wherever you're at, keep fighting forwards and you will make your dreams come true.
Wow. I wish I'd left that bit for the final part, because I wanted we still got some time, so I want to really come back to some of the stuff you said here, because they were just so powerful, absolutely powerful, golden nuggets you're dropping to us. And sometimes I recognize that people hear these things, they might connect with it for the moment, but actually they don't realize that actually these are the tools for life. And, when you talk about smile and laugh, I want people to really hear that, because in moments when we are sad, in moments when we are anxious, what naturally happens is we just tense up. Yeah. We stop smiling. And just by that, those two things are just helping to relax.
They do. They so do. And that's the physical part of the mental health as well, physically smiling, physically laughing, even when you don't feel like doing it. I mean, it sounds, unusual, but actually, if you've heard of laughter therapy and they say, come on, just laugh, even though you don't feel like laughing, then there's nothing funny going on. The laugh creates a laugh.
It still does. And hopefully that you guys never ever have to be in that position. But like I said, when you are in a dark place, the last thing you do want to do is laugh, and you feel like you're in such a dark hole. But just starting to crack that smile, and what Tour's been teaching us around shifting our thought patterns will help you kind of step forward, step away from your dark into the light. And that's what we want, Pete, into your light.
Exactly. Into your light.
Every single day.
Every single day, every day.
I love this. And then the other thing I loved about that was, when you talk about the highlights reel, and you're so right that not many people naturally feel comfortable in giving themselves praise. Like, they go throughout their lives kind of helping other people, telling other people how they're great. And sometimes we forget that, we first have to be our biggest fan, our biggest critic of our biggest fan. Because if you're not cheering for yourself, who is? Sorry.
Exactly. And you don't have to be an official cheerleader to be a cheerleader.
Oh, always a job title. But also on that though, if you guys are watching it right now, just do this for me. Just tap yourself on the back of the shoulder. Just tap yourself. And can you feel that? It does. Even just doing that can do something to your body and your emotions. And that's just by touching yourself. And imagine that you look at yourself and say, oh, you're a great friend. You did well in your university. All that type of stuff it's feeding your soul.
It is. It's so important, and it's about being kind to yourself. And we saw it a lot during the pandemic. People saying, reach out, be kind, and there was a lot of it. And then it sort of, we've become a bit desensitized to it, but it is so meaningful and it means so much. When you're having a bad, tough day, be kind to yourself. Give yourself a break. And if we always just come back to giving ourselves a break, life seems a lot easier.
You're right about that. They said reach out, and they forgot to say reach out to yourself as well.
Exactly.
Ask yourself, am I okay? I mean, if I say that to my missus, she'd be like, "You're not okay. You're a bit crazy."
Yeah, we don't need to go to the point where we're sending ourselves text messages. Okay, we can just ask ourselves inside.
I have a monthly check-in with my journal. I have questions that I ask myself about life, where I am, and I just yes.
Right.
I'm gonna go back to your other points as well. You said make decisions from a place of hope rather than fear. Oh, yes, I was like, one of my favorite sayings is, I think, that the lion is the king of the jungle, but he's not the smartest, he's not the strongest, it's not the, he's not the best out of all the attributes that he has.
Yeah.
But the difference between a lion and say a zebra is that every single morning when a zebra sees a lion, the zebra runs away from it. The zebra is running from something, for example, but a lion, he's chasing something. He's on a hunt. He, and that's the difference in the kind of the mindset that you have to have. Like, there's a different type of energy you do when you're running towards something.
Definitely. And it's about acceptance as well. If you accept you are the way you are, where you're at now, you just, it's a real, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a real, it is just acceptance, just accepting where you are, where you're at, and being okay with that. Because I know we always the topic is mental health, and, people are going to say, oh, no one's happy all the time, and, we feel sad and we feel frustrated, and that's okay. It is okay to feel those negative emotions, because it doesn't make you a negative person. It doesn't mean you're negative at all. It makes you human. And that's what humans are. It's a range of emotions, including the chase. And the chase is fun. The chase can be so much fun. So it's quite nice that you link it to the jungle, because I love animals.
Oh, yay! Did you use that one as well?
I knew that one. Oh, thank you.
Oh man, I mean, I took that from Eric Thomas, so I'm sure he'll be happy for me to share. But you're so right. And also what I love about this is how you're really personalized, how you're kind of making this subject matter really human, and you're really making clear to every person listening that actually this is an individual journey. That this is what feels good for me might not feel good for you, and that it's all about kind of understanding yourself and seeing what works for you.
Definitely. And even when I do individual and group sessions, but even when I'm doing the group sessions, everything that I'm saying and everything that someone else is saying, it still is tailored to you, because everyone is different, and that's how we all learn from each other. And I hope that people listening are taking something away from this, in that wherever you are at, it's okay. Wherever you want to get to is possible, and it is just finding that inspired action to take to get you there, and that's what it's about.
Wow, like I think this is one of the most powerful kind of talks we've had, and yeah, honestly, and what makes it really powerful as well is, and what makes this discussion really timely, is the fact that actually, for a lot of people, this period of Christmas and happy holidays is an amazing period, but then for some people, it's kind of the worst period for themselves, because they're either alone, they're unhappy in their lives, all that type of stuff. And so I do really hope that what we've discussed today really kind of, like I said, connects with someone.
I do, even if it's one thing you take away, and it's so funny. I've done talks before, and you think that some of the stuff you say will connect with people most, and actually someone will come up to me afterwards or send me a message and say, oh, actually, when you said this particular thing, and I thought, oh, I didn't even think anyone would take anything from that. And it's funny, and that just shows how different we all are, and how we all come to the table with a different story and a different background, a different idea. And that's what makes things happen, because that's diversity. Everyone's there, everyone can contribute, everyone can just make things happen. And by all just working together to help each other, we can get to where we want to be.
Oh yeah, help today. I totally agree with you. And also talking about that, I was saying to Miss stuff that I was kind of looking for like songs for the wedding and all that type of stuff, and one of the songs I got to, so when I was looking through the comments, I was reading how people connected with some of those songs. Like one song was like a sad song, and one person was like, "This helped me through my depression. This helped me through cancer. This helped me through that." And I was just saying the reason why I share that is when it comes to career mindset and mental health, there are so many different forms of kind of places where you can get the toolbox to bring you back into your life.
Yeah, no, it really is, and that's another thing to sort of say as well. You know, everyone's motivations are different, and everyone's connections are different as well. So, like I say, what motivates me may not motivate you, but the fact that you mentioned music, oh my God, the power of music to me is just, it can take me from one emotion to the complete opposite emotion in about 3 seconds, and that is the power of music. And if that's something that you connect with, do it more, bring more of it into your life. You know, if it's not music and it's art or dance or whatever it is, and it makes you happy and it gets you motivated and hyped, bring more of it into your life. That is what it is all about, you know.
It's so true. It's so true. You know, I was going to say, talk about music. There's two songs. One was "Dance with My Father" again. I know that something that makes some people cry.
Oh my God, yeah.
My one is like there's a song by Alec Black called "Mama," and that on my days that takes me through so many different emotions.
Really? I might know it if I hear it, but I'm gonna Google that.
Oh, it's gonna make you like. But for me, because it talks about kind of how as a child, his mom would look after him, hold his hand crossing the street, and becomes a young man, and he's like, "Don't touch me! I don't want to be seen with you, mom." And then, has a family, and then towards the end, it goes around in circles where he's holding his mama's hand across the road, and it's like, "Oh my God." And it's got an orchestra behind him. I'm like, oh my days.
Killing me. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to YouTube that after.
Yeah. So you guys are collected. It looks like, I love this. Oh yeah, and before we go, I just want to, because do you have any, would you like to share with us kind of some of the greatest impacts you've made with some of your clients, or some like the most memorable feedback you've had from the work you've done so far?
Yeah, I mean, some of the feedback has just been, it's moved me to tears. Like some of the testimonials that I've put on my website, obviously they're the best ones I've put up there. They're just so great because they've just explained in a nutshell how I have managed to help them not only move forwards with their lives, but make a real positive impact. And I've had some clients come to me at rock bottom, but they yeah, it's difficult. It's quite emotional for me as well, because you see them at the start when they come to you, and you see them when they finish their coaching program, and it's so amazing, because I've had clients that have been, in the pandemic, they've been furloughed, they've not had a job, they've been discriminated against, and by the end of the coaching session, not only have they got a dream job offer, but they've got multiple dream job offers, and they didn't know what one to pick. And their dilemma was then to come to me to say, oh my God, Tor, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which one. Can we just work it out? I'm like, calm down. This is good. This is good pressure. This is good news. And things like that, it just makes me so happy, because I don't know, I live for other people's success. I really do. And I'm such an empath, if I'm working with someone as their coach, I connect with them and feel their emotion, whatever they're going through, whether it's they can't deal with their manager, or they've got imposter syndrome, or they just need an improved work-life balance because things are just getting too much. And it's been so enlightening for me. And I feel so privileged to be able to work with people to get them to where they want to be. And I can't always, I can never guarantee an outcome, and I can't always promise anything. But if you say what your goal is, I will try my best to get you there. And we will have fun, and we will have laughs along the way. And that's why I try and sort of say, this is what I offer. It is a coaching service, and it gets you to where you want to be whilst having fun along the way.
Like, you're such a powerful lady, I'm telling you. Like, just hitting us with all these amazing golden nuggets. And before we finish, I just want to say, one of the things I want to highlight to you guys is I did a all hands talk earlier today with a team, and we spoke about the Tribe Success Box. So this is a journey. We end up the end goal. There'll be people who get on the bus and off the bus. But it's also the same thing with our individual lives. And, as Thor said, whilst her clients are working for her, she's on their bus. And what we have to recognize is, we control what we bring on that bus, all that luggage. We control who we let on that bus. And we also control when they can go.
That's great. I'm going to use that one too, because I've never heard of that one before. It's so good. It's such a nice visualization as to actually there is a bus and everyone's going to be getting on and off at different times. And it's a really nice way to put it.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. And another thing is, you spoke about having that highlights reel, and originally focused on, what's good about ourselves. But, you just reminded me that, I personally sometimes forget about all the great work we do. Like, I'm just so focused on the next thing, 6 months, like budget and all that stuff, all that stuff, getting the Batman what he needs, and legal requirements and the HR and like health and safety and
it never ends. It never ends.
It never ends, and you remind me that we have something called our success hub, and actually we should kind of go back to that and just look at it all the time.
It's so important. It is important, and not just on days when you're like feeling low or having a bad day or something hasn't worked out. Like, go back to your successes. Like, I actually keep a list of any feedback I get that's positive. I actually put it on a list and go back to it, and often sort of look at it, and it just makes you feel great. And it's not just when you're having a bad day, but oh my God, like this person has said these wonderful words or these kind words, and you're like, wow, I obviously made a difference. And to me, that makes me, I'm human, that makes me happy. It really does. Looking back on all you've achieved and all you've succeeded in and how successful you actually already are.
Yes, it's so true. How successful you already are. Don't forget, guys, we are a miracle. Like, the odds of us ever being born is mathematically, against our favor. But we made it. We made it here. We made it this far. Hopefully you're now adult. You made it to teenager. University. You made it to adulthood. Like, not everyone gets to make it this far.
No.
And I guess it's our duty to kind of continue to progress that.
Definitely. And life is so short, so there are going to be obstacles, there are going to be challenges, but actually you can deal with them. You've already dealt with your toughest days. There's no reason why you can't push forwards, bring it on.
So true. I just want to pick out that one because I'm joined. I might be becoming a school governor, and yeah, I know. So I had a walk around with the principal, and they're talking about how they feel like the current education system is not tough enough on the young people. Yeah. So like these young people don't have, they do a sixth form, they don't have any free breaks. It's you're either in lectures, or you're in the study period, and then they have like kind of hours of work in the weekends as well. And what they say is, in traditional schools, the brightest young person will maybe help the teacher to educate other people. In theirs, they're like, no, we want to kind of continuously push that ball higher and higher, because these young people don't know where their limits are right now. And that's even us. No matter how old you are, we don't really know what our limits are.
We don't unless we're pushed or we push ourselves. But if we're afraid to do that, we're not going to reach our full potential. And that is what we want to get to. We want to be the best we can be. And it does mean, like we said before, being uncomfortable. It really does. But not being afraid to push yourself and let other people push you as well. That little bit of pressure, like I always say, it is okay. It gets you to where you want to be.
I totally agree. And you know what? One last thing, guys, probably. Being in your comfort zone is not the safest place. Like, people feel like I'm in my safety zone, it's safe, it's all good. But actually, like, there's so many forces around our lives that dictate what really is like what Paul said, what could be your hardest and most challenging times. Like, you either can prepare yourself for those periods, or you wait for that to come to you, and it will come. So yeah.
Oh yeah, there's always, we're not sitting here saying that life's going to be a breeze. Like, there will be challenges, there will be obstacles, but you can deal with them. You can so deal with them, and you can deal with them in different ways. And there's so many options. Just think, if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to do, just be comforted by the fact that there's always an option out there.
Powerful. And any final words before we start to close off?
I'd say, well, thank you first of all for just inviting me to be here. I've had such a great time and a great laugh. And I guess the last thing I really want to say is, just to leave you with the point that your background and your story is your absolute strength.
Powerful. It's so true. Those are our assets, those are our strengths, those are what makes us who we are. Oh, amazing. Oh, that was fantastic. I'm just going to play her out.
I'm going all the way, I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way, I'm going to another level.
Well done. So that was fantastic. Well, guys, before we close, I just want to remind you, we've got 2 more events before the end of the year. We've got the 6th of December, a mock interview session with Amdocs. On the 9th of December, we've got our speed mention with New Relic. And also, often people say, I don't get access to industry. I don't know what employers are looking for. I don't know what this different industries kind of entail on a day-to-day basis. Get rid of those excuses and just turn up, because at this event, you get to meet the HR, heads of HR. You get to see different people in different departments. You get to leave with a panel of mentors. This is access that you don't actually have to fight for. You don't have to pay for. You just have to turn up. So turn up, and we've got more opportunities for you guys in 2022. So sign up to become our success seeker and let us help you achieve your success goals. And then I'm just going to play you guys a video as well of GS in case you don't know who we are. We were founded after the London riots, when all we saw were burning buildings, and all we heard was that this was a lost generation. As a group of young people, we decided we'd had enough. We'd had enough of seeing burning buildings. We wanted to see burning ambition and aspiration. We wanted to create a world where you can come from the poorest of households, yet still have access to the same opportunities as someone from the wealthiest. We are Generation Success, a for impact organization which is determined to create a world where your career opportunities are not determined by your birth.
The most valuable thing that Generation Success offers, I think, is knowledge.
Networking, opportunities, and lifelong connections.
It's fantastic. It's educational.
Generation Success's events, mentoring, training, career advice, and job opportunities provide our community of equality champions and student fellows with the chance to achieve their dream career and enable others to do the same.
The networking in this organisation is amazing. Every time I've been here, I've met someone new, I've gone on to make great contacts, and it's just all round great networking.
And when I come to these events, I don't feel alone, and I don't feel scared about pursuing my dreams, because I can see that people have been where I am now and gone to places that I want to go in.
It brings a very diverse group of people together. They all have a sense of wanting to give and support each other. And I think that really breaks barriers down.
It's great to really give that knowledge to someone else. Hey, this is what I've done, this is what you can do, really help them build their businesses, which I think is amazing. But for me, the real killer for mentoring comes from the other way around. It's kind of what I learned from them.
The real opportunity to share knowledge, whether that's from the speakers, whether that's from the people who network with each other, whether that's from the immense resources that the members have access to. There's so much knowledge, and as we know, knowledge is power, so it's giving everyone a huge amount of power.
Whether you're a dream hunter looking for that first rung on the ladder, an organization seeking to make a structural changes, or an established professional looking to give back and support the move to equality, Generation Success can turn your ambition into reality. The time is now to be part of that change. All right, guys. All right, that was just once again just want to say massive thank you to all for joining us today. Like, it's been an amazing pleasure to have you.
Oh, it's been great. Thank you so much. And I love that video. And I actually recognised one of the lawyers at the end there. So, oh, it's so great. I love what you guys do, but I always have. And I've been one of the cheerleaders from the start. So I hope that's noted.
Come to our Equality Award in July, and yes, you'll be invited. Like, you are part of our boss, and thank you. You're part of what we call our GS allies, people like yourself who continue to give back, who are working with us to create a generation of success. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Take care.